Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. Get ready with me today. We're going to get ready to film some more videos, but I also want to talk about products that I am convinced people are lying. They're lying about liking them. How can you like these products? I have tried them various times. People rave about them like crazy. Like they act like they're the best things they've ever tried. And I don't understand it. Like I can't see it. You know what I mean? So these are going to be my personal experiences, right? With the products, the brands perhaps. Please don't be offended on behalf of a brand. They don't care I'm doing this. They're fine. You don't have to take on the burden of being offended for them when I'm sure they don't, you know, are unaware of your existence. And also, yes, you know, I'm a makeup artist. I'm aware these work for other people and will work for other people. Fact, you know what I mean? Otherwise they wouldn't still exist if no one ever bought them. So if this is offensive to you that other people may not like what you like, then one, it's going to be a difficult life for you. Also two, don't be stressed out for a company or a brand that doesn't care about you. You know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so the first product I want to talk about is the Fenty Ease Drop Blur and Smooth Tint Stick. Listen, I absolutely love a tint. And when it was like that Ease Drop, which I liked their Ease Drop, the other Ease Drop foundation. So when I saw it in a stick, I was like, okay, I want to try that. Listen, I miss the days of the good stick foundation. Remember everyone used to do those and they were always aimed at like the oily people. They were like full coverage mattes, even though they never worked on anyone. I used to be a huge fan of the Benefit, the one that was like in the purple stick. But anyway, it seems like they kind of dropped out of fashion, dropped out of style, and nobody really wanted to use them again. So when I saw so many people, oily people too, talking about this foundation, I was like, great. A stick foundation that has very light coverage, is very natural on the skin. What like a great opportunity to try a new foundation. Now this is how Fenty advertises foundation. A smooth, instant blurring skin tint stick that's so easy you can't fuck it up. The creamy crease-proof formula glides on seamlessly for light coverage that lets skin look like skin. Long wear, light, buildable coverage that resists fading and transferring. Right, let's talk about this. A smooth, instant blurring skin tint. Now, here's the deal with this claim. When it was like instantly blurring, it was not actual lie. It went on my skin kind of like shiny, like a glowy foundation. The thing is, when you have a product that has a glow to it on the skin, it isn't blurring. You have to kind of like, it has to be smooth and matte to look blurred, right? I was obviously like, okay, that's not blurring my skin in any way at all. It's actually, if anything, it's making me look sweaty. And also that means to me, if a product is kind of like glowy, shiny, glossy on the skin, it's not going to be long wearing as it claims to be. There's no way something that kind of texture can sit for that long. And yes, you can have like a bit of a glow and it can be long wearing, but that kind of like, it was almost greasy on me, is not going to be long wearing at all. I've seen so many people try this and I do have an issue. There's only some beauty people I trust when it comes to them trying Fenty products, right? And it's the same with not all celebrity brands, but brands like Kylie Cosmetics is one, anything Kim Kardashian does. There's a certain group of celebrities where people will try it. I think I've spoken on this briefly before, but people will try the product and then they'll pretend they really like it in hopes that, you know, the celebrity who is associated with that brand will see it and comment, or, you know, invite them to an event where they'll meet them, that kind of thing. So they'll try, oh no, I just got stuff on my Baymax mirror. They'll try a product and it might be really shit, but they'll be like, oh, Rihanna did that. And it's like, it's shit. It's okay to say something is terrible and still like, you know, support something. If my very good friends came out with their own product and they were like, Robert, can you try this? And it was shit, you know, I'll be like, this is shit, because I want them to do the best they can. You know what I mean? So I do have a problem when people come to reviewing those kind of brands, because it's like, you're sucking asshole and you don't need to. Okay, this next one really confuses me, right? Like they all do, but this one because of how they sell it also. This is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. Listen, some of you are going to be like, what? Because this is a classic, right? right? Bridal makeup artist, have it in your kit. Even I had it in my kit. You know, because I can appreciate it work on other people, other than me. How it works on my skin isn't the be all and end all. Okay, so here's what confused me. First of all, this is $54. Like, come on. Sometimes there's just no excuse for things to be that crazy amount of money anymore. That's an Estee Lauder brand for you. Skincare made for makeup. Our best-selling multivitamin enriched moisturizing primer for the face instantly nourishes, plumps, and preps skin with a healthy hydration to improve the look of foundation. Yeah, fine. It's full makeup prep in one step, blending the performance of a primer with the cushion of a face moisturizer. That's all fine, and I agree with that. I think it does do that. However, here's the issue again, and it's an oily skin issue, or not even. Who is it for? Normal to oily skin types. If you've ever tried this, you will know it's a very rich, hydrating cream. It's like this cream. The texture does feel slightly gel-like. It's not like heavy cream, like getting out a tub of Nivea, you know, and putting it over the whole face. It does have a gelness to it. But this is one of those creams where, especially on me, I don't know if anyone else gets this, you put it on your face and you know, even if you don't have anything else underneath, or I've tried it with other things underneath, it feels like your face instantly sweating. Like you get this kind of like cold wetness to the face, and it's like, why am I sweating even though I'm not moving? There is no way, again, that me as somebody with oily but also dehydrated skin, this would be great under my foundation. There's no way. It's too rich. It's too hydrating. If an oily person asked me if they should use that product, I'd be like, absolutely not. It's way too much. It's way too hydrating. It's a lot. 100% use this on a drier skin, like 100%, because it is vitamin enriched. And it does make a nice base on some skins, but on oily skin, I'm not convinced anyone with oily skin, and my oily skin people out there, you know, if we use something that's like enriched and super over hydrating, we might as well just do our makeup and then throw grease all over our face and be done with it. Like it just won't work for us. So it does confuse me. That's more confusing to me, because it's like, you know what, yeah, it might be a great product for some people. Mature skin, it'll be beautiful. Dry skin, it'll be lovely. Maybe skin that's a little bit more eczema prone, but not while you have eczema. Fantastic. Oily skin, greasy skin, you're gonna put this, what feels like, I've never had it where I put it on and it hasn't felt like I've put something wet on my face. I just don't understand that description. I just feel like they need to change it up, and I'll be like, yeah, that makes sense. Also, Estee Lauder, come on, fix your prices. We can go out there and buy stuff that's of very high quality, and we don't need to pay £50 for it anymore, you know what I mean? Or $50. Like, that's wild. People don't care about your name anymore. Okay, this is gonna be controversial, right? The Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, $39. Now, I'm convinced that a lot of people are pretending to like this brand. The product, listen, don't get me wrong, listen. I'm sure the products work great for some people. I'm sure it's not just the packaging you're paying for. But there are four products I've tried from Charlotte Tilbury, right? So I used to work on a Mac counter opposite a Charlotte Tilbury. Excuse me. So I've tried the cream. What's that cream called? That's how much I loved it. The cream that basically was like wearing slime on your face. I've tried their eyeshadows. I've tried their brow pencil, and I've tried this Hollywood Flawless Filter. On me, and I know people love it, there was nothing flawless about it. My God. Here's the deal. On a lot of people, right, building up more product, building up more texture is just not the way to go in terms of how you need to do your makeup, because it will come off easier. It will start to like separate in places like your nose, your chin, all those areas where makeup separates anyway. This product, again, in Charlotte Tilbury style, was kind of greasy. It sat kind of greasy on the skin. Inspired by the perfecting properties of social media and illuminating effects of Hollywood lights, it blurs, smooths, and illuminates for the most magical glow of your life. Sounds wonderful, right? It sounds really, really beautiful. I would. Well, I wouldn't, now I know. But that sounds like something I would want. A nice glow. 96% agree that Hollywood Flawless Filter gives skin a real life filter. Here's my issue with that, right? It doesn't. It just makes your skin glowy. There's nothing filter about it. It doesn't smooth. It isn't like, oh my gosh, my skin looks like it's been filtered. No, it just looks like your skin has a glow. Is it a nice glow visually? Yes. On my skin, it didn't sit so well. Here's what I have to give this product credit for, right? Is that it inspired like a million dupes. And I'm happy those dupes exist because, for example, the e.l.f. one is beautiful, Halo Glow. The Better Than filters from Rimmel, beautiful. You know why they're so nice? Because when you put them on your skin, they don't feel like you've added an extra step to your your routine. They don't feel heavy. It doesn't feel like, oh, now I've got this on, now I need to try and blend this in. It just feels like and looks like a really beautiful, subtle filter. Glow, sorry, got the word filter in my head. I was like, why should we not have like glowy products that make our skin greasy? You know what I mean? Like, why can we not have that? Well, you can. But the Charlotte Tilbury ones, I'm convinced, right, that Charlotte Tilbury as a brand, sorry, I'm just talking and talking, was meant to be aimed at the maturer person. You know what I mean? The packaging screams mature, old Hollywood. But then the influencers got hold of it and they started doing all the influencer marketing because some of the formulas just aren't right for a lot of people's skin. But although I haven't purchased any of their products myself with my own money, again, when it kind of like, it wasn't really when it came out, actually, it was ages after it came out, but working across from that counter, I was like, okay, I want to try some stuff. I want to see like what all the fuss is about. And I would try things occasionally, like over and over. Have you ever kept trying things from a brand just because you're like, surely it works, surely like there's a reason people love it and you just couldn't get it to work? Anything from a brand to work? That was me. Okay, the big one that's going to confuse me for my whole life as to why people made such a big deal out of this concealer, not this concealer, this is great, is the Tarte Shape Tape. I will never understand the hype around Shape Tape. It is just a regular concealer. It's just a regular like kind of full coverage. Like there's nothing to me, there's nothing special about it. I think it's severely overhyped, like one of the most overhyped products I've ever tried in my life. I remember trying it for the first time and I was really expecting something crazy, like perhaps it was going to really smooth out my under eyes, it was going to look blurry, filtered, like, you know, like nothing I ever tried before. The way it was so hyped up, and I was super late to the game, so I don't know if they changed their formula from when everyone was first talking about it on YouTube. But also Tarte was a brand that wasn't available in the UK kind of at that time. You know, Tarte's available on QVC. Like if you're a Tarte person, you can get some real bargains on QVC. Just saying, people need to remember QVC exists and I have some great brands on there. Yeah, severely overhyped. Tried it for the first time, it was just normal. It was a regular concealer. Here's the deal. Product description. Tarte's best-selling Shape Tape concealer. Full coverage formula. Oh, this is their full, so they do a few other versions now, right? Smooths and brightens to make the eyes appear lifted. Didn't do that. Didn't do that. It would brighten had I chosen a different shade, but it wasn't like, oh, my under eyes. I didn't experience the magic that everyone was like gagging over and like selling their soul to Tarte for. You know what I mean? Crease proof formula. Let me tell you about crease proof formulas. If your face creases, if your under eyes have creases in them, it's going to crease. There's no stopping it. That's your face. That's just how your face works. It's fine. Touch it up later. But no, it's not. Crease proof formula what? So it physically stretches out your skin. Makeup can't do that. Makeup can't grip to your skin and hold it and stretch it out and be like, don't crease, don't crease, don't crease. It's gonna crease. And until we discover, you know, a makeup product that can do that, you need to think about how you're repairing your makeup rather than stopping it from creasing. And it's another one of those situations where they're like, tape technology helps smooth and blur appearance of fine lines or wrinkles. It didn't. Concealers have to stop making these claims. Nothing is going to physically smoothen and lift your under eyes. It may look like it's smooth, but it hasn't. You know what concealer did look like it smoothed out my under eyes, which I was really surprised about? The Wet n Wild. Is it Photo Focus or Photo Finish? Whatever that one is. That concealer, I've never been so impressed with a concealer in my life, I don't think. Like in terms of its price point and its effectiveness. It was really, really good. But honestly, I just couldn't believe the overhypeness of it all. Like there's no way you can be that impressed with that concealer when it literally just does the same thing that every other concealer does. I just don't understand the hype. Strange. It's a strange one. Okay, last but not least is Hourglass Ambient Light Highlighter Palettes, right? Dusty, crusty, fusky on anyone. Let me tell you, Hourglass isn't a brand that I like to talk about on my social media. I just think they don't do well in terms of inclusivity, in terms of color options, all that kind of stuff. And it's my choice and my decision to not support them to that extent where I would be like, oh, these products are really nice, which I'm definitely not going to say right now. But I have received their products in PR, not directly from Hourglass, but you know, if like maybe Sephora or Space NK send you like a PR box and maybe they put in like an Hourglass palette or something like that. Story time, but not. A while back now, I had to go through my freelance kit and throw a lot of stuff away, a lot of expired makeup because it had been so long since I had used any of the makeup in there because I started influencering, but I had to like refresh everything, right? Yeah, obviously I'm not going to put expired makeup on clients' faces. That would be disgusting. I received in PR a highlighter palette from actually about maybe 2 or 3 highlighter palettes, you know, the long ones, of all the shades from Hourglass, plus like a blush and highlight palette. These are $66, bear in mind, for these palettes are small ones. ones. But in my mind, I was like, you know what? These will come in handy because they're free palettes that supposedly suit people of all skin tones and depths and everything like that. And I know they're quite expensive, so I should know better. I was like, they'll work. They'll be really great. Recently, I did some prom makeup, right? It was prom season here in England. And one of the girls had skin that was lighter than me. She was white, no spray tan, nothing like that. Lucky we did a trial. I will always do a trial. And I used one of these ambient light palettes on her. And here's the thing, from looking at the product, the texture is physically it's domed, right? When it's domed, that means to me, baked. It's been baked. It's been a slurry and it's been baked, which equals a smooth texture, really beautifully like undetectable on the skin. They tend to go on like really creamy and nice. These, it went on like flour. It was so horrible. And it's a relatively new palette, right? Formula, disgusting. It was like, I'm like, why am I using even one of the like medium shades on this person who doesn't have a necessarily deep skin tone is too light. It was genuinely really, really horrible. So I actually pulled a highlighter from my own personal collection that I hadn't opened yet. I'll get another one. And I was like, I'll use this because I can't rely on the Hourglass ones. It was so horrible. It was so dusty. And I tried, so there's 3 shades in each palette, right? I didn't even start with a lighter one because I knew that would be too light. So I tried the medium one and then I tried the lighter one. And I couldn't believe how, one, they all just looked the same. I also couldn't believe how in the medium tone palette, the darker shades looked ashy on this person who is of a light skin tone. It was awful. They keep being like, yes, for all skin tones. Actually, they even say it in the description. Here's what they say. Powders mimic universally flattering light sources, not unlike having a personal lighting technician at your disposal. Disagree. Lighting is like, look, it's like a shine like this, right? This was a flat white. It was dusty. State-of-the-art formula delivers a multi-dimensional luminescence to every skin tone, making it appear softer, younger, and perfectly lit. Disagree. If I had somebody of a deeper skin tone and I went in with any of those highlights, I doubt very much we'll be able to find a shade that looked good on them. I won't have them in my kit anymore. And then it says that it will look good even with flash photography, which I have to say, I would be very, very nervous if I popped this product on somebody, left it the shade it was, and then somebody took a picture with a flash. No way. It would look white. It would look really, really terrible. I do also want to mention something that Hourglass make a habit out of, and I don't know whether it's since they've been called out for not being very inclusive in their shade range while trying to be, is that their official editorial photography moments, you know, like the ones you see online, are pictured a lot darker, photographed a lot deeper than the products are actually in real life. Every single shade has like a white undertone to it in the lighter one, and the other one is just kind of the same shades. I do have to say that pictures, it makes them look a lot more golden than they are. They definitely are a lot whiter and ashier in real life. It's almost as if Hourglass were like, oh, we need them to be bright, so let's not bear in mind skin tone. Let's just make a pastel version of a bronze, if that's even possible. Okay, so I'm going to finish up my makeup. I'm going to put some lashes. You're going to see this in another video. Let me know down below if there's any product you keep seeing people talk about that they just love and rave about, that you're just like, you can't be right. You can't be right about this. Let me know. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment down below. I will see you in the next one. Bye.